Hey everybody. I feel really called to do a video today, and this is going to be a little bit outside of my usual, and that's because I want to practice what I preach, and I've been encouraging clients to really step into their light and into the edge of discomfort. And a lot of times when we are stepping into our bigger version of ourself, it's scary, and our old story wants to pull us back and tell us like, no, you are not ready for that, and that is, not what people are going to like, and all this kind of ego stuff. So I have been working with light language. And the way that the light language has been coming through has been through my insight sessions. And it's been coming through an actual language which is sometimes coded. So it'll be in English, but it won't necessarily make sense. And then what I notice I will start doing is I'll speak with my hands and I'll be making gestures. So this gesture right here, I didn't know what it was for the longest time. So it's kind of a rocking back and forth. And it's it's an infinity symbol. So if you look up infinity symbol, that's apparently what I've been doing. There's also this one. I think this is a triangle, and I've been doing this around the throat to allow people to unblock this area, and also for myself to unblock. It also is unlocking the heart. Also the triangle, this has been huge for me. So the light language has been coming in through Reiki symbols. This is no Reiki symbol, but just certain movements that are moving energy. I also will be rocking in a circle sometimes, and sometimes it'll go the other direction. And a lot of times my eyes will be back and they'll start to flutter. And so this is how I start to know when I'm in an altered state of consciousness. And that means that I'm stepping back from my ego story and my attachment to what's happening right now, and I'm able to step back and be a conduit and a channel, for lack of a better word, a channel for source. And so what ends up coming through isn't even about me. It's not about what I think. It's not any opinions of mine. It's actually just for the person and for who I'm reading for. And you've probably, some of you might know that what I'm realizing that I'm tapping into is something called the living library of the earth. It's called the halls of Amenti, but it's the living library of Mother Earth that holds all of the past, present, and future of our soul's incarnation. So you can call that past lives, or all of the ways that our soul has expressed itself and outside of time. So it's getting outside of how we are now and the stories that we're attached to right now, and it is allowing us to have access to our gifts that we didn't even realize were laying dormant in our DNA. And so for me, as I've been able to step back and do more of these insight readings, I have been able to start to access some of and it feels kind of funny, like when I allow myself to move or to speak in a way that feels like it's not really me speaking. And the reason I want to share this is starting to happen. This is not just me. This is starting to happen for people. And the more that we can allow whatever is wanting to be anchored into Mother Earth through our physical bodies, the more we can start to feel our oneness with Source. And this is where our power lies, is in our ability to feel our true organic connection to Source energy. And that's why we have to unplug. We have to disconnect from the ego stories, the polarity, and what's happening that pulls us away from what's real and what's actually happening. Because what's actually happening right now, you guys, is so much bigger and better than what's being shown to us through the media, whether it's social media or the news. There is a bigger plan, and there's a bigger movement that's happening right now. And if you're listening to this and you feel it in your heart space, that's you resonating, even if it doesn't make logical sense to you. If there's a part of you that your brain is like, no, she's crazy, or like, that's okay too. And just see if there's another part of you that is resonating with, there's something else going on that nobody's really talking about, but some of us are really feeling like things are not falling apart, they're falling together and being birthed very actively. So I wanted to just share a little bit about how this could be coming through for you as well. You could be noticing things like what I just talked about, of like a little bit of movement or hand gesturing, or like when you start to speak, if you start to speak in a way that feels like it's not you, that you're sharing a message that's coming through you. That's really important. And it's not something that you could have thought about or planned. I think that's another thing, is stepping back and not being attached and not having an agenda for how things go when you speak your truth, to me is a sign that it's you being in full alignment with source energy. It's not even about us, it's about just allowing it to flow through. Sometimes this is coming through for people in their art. So I just did an insight reading actually with a man named Marcus Eaton. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's come to Boise a few times. He's an extremely talented musician, and I was able to give him an insight reading. He currently lives in LA, but he was sharing with me how he has felt more like his music and his message has been changing, and that it's directly because of these new energies that are coming through into our divine gifts. So it could be through music, it could be through dancing, it could be through how you share your energy just in general. So start to tap into that and really allow yourself to embody some of your gifts that may feel really familiar to you from a past life that you're being asked to fully embody now. And something else to be aware of that I wanted to speak on is emotions, and how we're starting to feel more. We're feeling more intensely, more deeply, but that we're being asked to actually move through the emotions faster. And eventually the intensity that we tend to feel emotions at right now is, as you move into more of a neutral space, non-judgment and non-duality, our emotions start to get less intense. And for me, that's really exciting because we can have authority over our emotions. And just a side note, I have a free download on my website around how to have authority over your emotions. So please feel free to do that. I'll post a link at this under this video. But I do think it's important that we empower ourselves to understand that emotions can give us information about what's happening for us. But the minute we attach a story to the emotions, that's when it takes sometimes years to undo at times, is when our emotions become they can be a trick, they can be a distraction, and they can be a way to keep us not in our empowered choice. Every moment we have a choice. We have choice points of, do I want to engage in this emotion, or do I want to make a different choice? So it's not about compartmentalizing, and it's not about being in denial. That's not what this is. This is about having boundaries with how much you're spending your energy on things that are not actually in service to you or the collective. And so if you need to feel an emotion and you need to let that come up, also don't attach to it so that it can fall, because it's actually been proven, scientifically proven, that an emotion cannot last more than 7 seconds. I think it's 7 seconds, something close to that. Unless we attach our ego story to it, that's when it lasts a lot longer. So just notice at the point that you're attaching your story to emotion, and just practice coming back to the sensation in your body. What's that sensation? And we talked about this in my group last night, which was really powerful. It's naming the sensation. So I feel tightness in my chest. I feel achiness in my gut. I feel heaviness on my shoulders. You know, that's what we're getting to. Start to name the sensations in your body and just stay with that. Breathe into the sensation in your body, say it out loud, but have the boundary that you're not going to allow yourself to go into the story, because that's actually a lot of times where we can become disempowered. In an attempt to empower ourselves, we actually disempower ourselves. So when you're feeling the emotions that are intense, I want you to say to yourself, this is the power that I hold, because really you're feeling yourself. When you're feeling high emotion and you're feeling that intense energy, that's you. That's your power. And sometimes we're so afraid of our own power. So allow it and see it as you, and also don't be afraid of it and don't attach to it. And I think really what we're getting to is not being a victim of our emotions. There's nothing to necessarily do except acknowledge them, acknowledge our power, and then release and let go. So I hope that was helpful to anybody that may have benefited from that today. And please reach out to me if you have any questions. I am definitely here as a resource. I am offering mentorships, one-on-one mentorships for those of you that want to go deeper into your own personal work, and also for professionals, professional helpers and healers that would like to maybe bring some of this embodiment into their own practices. So reach out to me if you have any questions. That starts July 15th. It's a 5-month program taking you through the end of this year, so through November 15th. And I will give you all the details in the link below for mentorship, and reach out to me if you have questions. Have a beautiful day.